Good morning, this is Dr. Carlson from Active Family Chiropractic here in Tempe, and we are doing another episode of Who's Crackin' with Dr. C. And this time I have Ricky with me, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of mountain biking and adventure and weight loss. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ricky. What do you do for a day job? What's your specialty?
I sell insurance.
What kind of insurance?
I sell auto insurance.
How come I didn't know that? I didn't know that at all.
Yes.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been selling auto insurance for about almost a year, 8 months, but I've been selling insurance for almost 3 years.
And is there a particular company you want to give a plug for?
I work for the General.
You work for the General?
I work for the General, yeah.
Oh, and before that, what were you doing?
Before that, I drove a taxi for 10 years.
I just find that amazing. So tell me, making the transition from one ultra stressful job to a more computer-driven additional sitting, what do you notice between the two and how it affects your body?
The taxi, the driving, being in a car for 10 hours a day, it really took a toll on my back, upper back, just slouching,
right.
Diet.
I caught myself slouching.
Diet, exercise.
Fell by the wayside?
Yeah, it just went away. You know, you're eating in a car, you're passing 1,000 gas stations and Dairy Queens, and you know, so diet kind of goes out the door. You sleep. You know, I was working from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. So I'm going to bed.
Sleep schedule was off.
Yeah, going to bed at 6 in the morning, getting up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
So what was that turning point for you? I mean, clearly with those kind of habits, you're not going to stay healthy. You're going to lose your health over time.
Mm-hmm.
What was the turning point at the end of the 10 years where you just decided this just is not worth it anymore?
I was an athlete, you know, in high school. I always planned on getting back into mountain biking, but I just never had the time. You know, life catches up with you, and I just never had the time. And then got into a day job. Stress was lower, more financial stability,
more sleep,
but more than anything, just more stability financially. Not as many ups and downs emotionally, and
so this has turned out to be a much better fit for you across the board, not just physically but mentally as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So what made you end up coming to the chiropractic office, to our office?
So I bought a new mountain bike, and I spent a lot of money on a new mountain bike. I basically just got what I wanted.
You treated yourself?
I treated myself, yeah. And I went on a ride, like the first real ride, and it hurt. My back hurt, my upper back hurt, it just hurt. And I was thinking, I can't do this long term. I was really kind of bummed. I thought, what am I gonna have to sell? Am I gonna have to put the bike on Craigslist? You know, am I gonna have to sell it? It just hurt. And so I thought, you know, I can't keep doing this. And that was after like 1 or 2 rides. I thought, this hurts, you know. So you know, I've done chiropractic in the past. I've never done it really on a long term, kind of on my own terms. It was always after a car accident for a month or something, you know, to recuperate from an injury.
So tell us, what's the difference? How has that worked out for you? If that was, because there's other people as well that's really their only, they think that's what chiropractic is for. It's just for neck pain, low back pain, or if you're in a car accident. What is your perspective on how your body has responded when it's something that you're managing and you're working on improving your performance? Not necessarily, I mean, you wanted to feel better for sure, but it was more about being able to perform and do something that you really had already invested in and loved. So tell us about that. How is it different from just car accident, take care of it, to let's move forward?
Yeah, so it feels almost more like kind of how you feel after you eat a really healthy meal or after you work out. It's almost like an investment, like a plus, like a running towards a goal versus kind of running away from whiplash pain or whatever it is you suffered in a car accident. So it really feels kind of like you know, every time I come through here, it feels like you did something really good for yourself. You're one step closer to being healthier, to being more fit, Yeah, it's more running towards than kind of running away from pain and discomfort.
So I was saying to another patient this morning as a analogy, you want to drive, right? You don't want to be the rider when it comes to your own health, right? So if you ride, you're just kind of, riding it out. Like, I'm not going to do anything proactive, or I'm going to take what comes at me, right? If you're in the passenger seat. Whereas one of the things we try and do in our practice is to help position you in the driver's seat, where you're picking the destination, you're picking the route we take to get there, and that's so much more motivating, don't you think? To be able to go exactly where you want to go and have a team basically behind you to help create those results. That's one of the things that I try really hard, but it requires having patients like you who want to do these kinds of things, that have a goal and who have an investment and are internally motivated, because a driver is motivated, a rider's not, right?
Yeah.
So I need the driver type of personality to really be successful. Riders can be too, but they're more inclined to be like, Band-Aid, it hurts right now. Make me feel like there's no pain, and then they go away. But one of the things that I love about working with you is that everything I've asked you to try, you've done, and you come back and it's just hammered to the grindstone. You're always going, you're always moving forward, and you're on your own time doing everything and more. And so your results are, of course, surprisingly, right, through the roof. So it's been really fun to watch. So let's talk about your weight loss, because that's been the other portion of your success that I haven't necessarily participated in. You were already working on your weight loss before you came to me. Where did you start at this point in time? What weight were you at?
6 months ago, I was at 251.
And today?
I'm at 288, or 188. I'm at 188. So I've lost 62 pounds, 63 pounds.
That's amazing. And so how have you done that? Because you really have been working at it very hard. So tell me about there's been 2 or 3 different phases, right? So what was the first phase?
So the first phase was pretty strict. Not low carb, more just low calorie in general, but I wasn't trying to nail low carb. We talked about that. I've done a lot of low carb in the past, and you kind of go a little crazy on low carb. It's hard to manage your emotions on low carb after a while. It just
catches up with you.
It catches up with you.
Go a little nutty.
Yeah, so I didn't avoid carbs. I didn't. It was fairly balanced, but it was fairly low calorie, about 1,000 calories a week, a day, about 1,000 calories a day.
At
251.
That's a low calorie for that weight. And all that time you were riding as well?
No, well, half of that time. So when I started, I lost about 25 pounds before I walked to the door here. So, I mean, I lost like 40 pounds, 45, something like that, since I've been coming here. And I only just recently upped my calories last week. But I felt really good throughout the whole time of doing about 1,000 calories a day, but it was pretty balanced, and it wasn't low on carbs, which I think had a lot to do with it. And
then you turned up your calories, and you're still losing.
Yeah, so I turned the calories up last week. I'm on about 1,600 calories. And
that was partly driven because of how you felt after your rides, right? Specific to being drained on and not feeling good on your ride. It wasn't because of any other facet of your life being altered or having any challenges. It was just based on the ride that you decided it was time to amp it up a little bit.
It was based on 2 rides. One ride, I mean, the ride went okay. I do kind of the same circuit before work, because if I have a mechanical breakdown, I'm still relatively close to my car, and I can still theoretically make it to work on time.
Right.
So, but I do the same course, and I actually beat my old time, but it just hurt. It just wasn't on paper it was a good ride, but I just was drained. I was really tired. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm having an off day. And then the next ride, same, but even worse, and it was really draining me. So the days after that at work, super lethargic and fatigued, and I realized the calories, I'd finally gotten to a point, I hit the wall where, okay, you don't have enough fat left to fuel the workouts in your daily routine. So you're gonna have to increase your calories. And that was about a week ago. And the rides since then have been fantastic. Like I've done 4 rides, and they've been fantastic. And I feel a lot better, and it's.
So, since you said that when you came in it was because you went for like 2 rides and your back really hurt, how does your back feel now when you ride?
It feels way better. Yeah, it feels way better.
Do you feel stronger and more balanced in the saddle?
Yeah, I do. I feel stronger. I feel more balanced. I noticed.
You feel more powerful? Because you've traded, right? You had leverage with the weight, but you've lost the weight. So how does your strength and your power compare since now you're a lighter rider?
You know, it's gonna be interesting to find out, because I've been incrementally increasing my
Your ride length?
my ride length. So I did my longest ride a couple days ago, but just by half a mile. It wasn't much further. It wasn't much
Right.
longer. So I'm looking forward to throwing, going for, still, I was on 1,000 calories, so I had to make sure I didn't get out in the middle of somewhere and bonk and not be able to make it back.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about that as much. After about an hour,
That's where you notice
that's
it.
when you really feel it. And so I think I can maybe throw in an hour and 45-minute ride. I mean, I rode for an hour and 25 minutes the other day. I think I could throw in an hour and 45 minutes and finish it up pretty strong and not drag myself across the finish line like I had to do the last time I did like an hour and 45-minute ride a month ago. I mean, it really suffered to get through it. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting deeper into the ride where it starts to matter and feeling lighter and being lighter.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing how that matters.
So one of the things that I hear a lot from people is they don't have enough time, right? So how do you make this a priority for you? Because that's really what I tell people. It has to be a priority, and you have to schedule it in as your appointment with yourself, because you have a job and you have a girlfriend and you have other responsibilities. You may not necessarily have children to take to school, but you do have other responsibilities. How do you set yourself up for success so that you can consistently train and keep yourself on track to make this kind of progress?
Well, I ride in the morning, and I never was. I get up at about, well, the days that I ride, well, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, like whether I want to or not. I just wake up, and I never was like that before. I never was a morning person, but I'm excited to go ride. So when I wake up, half the time I end up getting up earlier than that because I'm so excited to ride. I can't lay there anymore. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna go. So I lay there and I think I'm gonna go back to sleep, and I don't. So I just get up. I was up at 4:30 on Saturday, and I'm just laying there, and I thought, I'm just gonna go because this is ridiculous.
Right.
By
the time you get there, it'll be light.
Yeah. So I was so excited. I got up. The mornings have been very valuable. Getting it done right away, giving myself plenty of time. I schedule, even on the days that I work, on my schedule, on my calendar, I have 4 hours blocked out for writing from the time I wake up till the time I'm like dressed, ready to go to work. I give myself plenty of time in case, so I'm not rushing. I can go at my own pace. Even when I get home from my ride, I can relax, I can lounge, I can just chill for a little while. It's not like I come home, jump in the shower, get dressed. I give myself plenty of time.
So you have to be to work about 9 then?
I have to be to work, actually, I like my schedule a lot. I have to be to work at 11.
Oh, at 11?
11.
And then you are going home at what, 7?
8. I leave at 8. So it's like an evening schedule.
So what time are you going to bed that you can actually?
During the week, I'm going to bed around 11.
So that's not a ton of sleep.
It's not a ton of sleep during the week. So I get home, about 8:30. I'm eating dinner by 9.
Do you
by
sleep
10.
in on the weekend to make up for
Yeah,
some of
I
that?
sleep in on the weekends. On
Or
my
on your
rest
days
days.
off.
And then on the days where I don't,
Right.
I don't ride, I'm riding 3 times a week. The days that I don't ride and the days I don't have to come in here, or even the days I do have to come in here, I get to sleep in. So I do wake up at 5, and then I usually hang out for a half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I go right back to sleep, and I kind of have like a second little sleep session for an hour or 2.
Power nap.
Yeah, like a power nap. And then on my weekends where I literally have nothing to do and I'm not riding, I'll sleep 9-10 hours and catch it up.
You catch up.
So, and I usually feel rested. I don't walk around feeling,
Fatigue.
yeah, I don't walk
Okay.
around dragging all day. I feel
Right.
pretty good. Generally speaking, I feel pretty good, and I drink caffeine, so if I
Right.
need it, I
So
just
my
drink.
favorite question, my last question for you is actually my favorite question because, you know, a small percentage of the population actually utilizes chiropractic care. It varies between 7 and 10%, which really is not that much. And I think, again, like I was saying before, people in the general population who haven't been exposed or experienced chiropractic, they think that it's just this little thing that's only for pain and only for certain circumstances. So my favorite question to ask is, what has surprised you most about your chiropractic care or your care in our office or about just chiropractic in general? What were you the most surprised about?
Well, I've done, you know, I've competed in the past, and I've worked with a trainer in the past in high school. I didn't expect you to have high level knowledge about dieting and competing and exercise. I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I saw your website and I saw that you work with athletes, but I didn't expect that you would have had experience, you know, really competitive dieting, you know, where you're getting down to the nitty gritty about calories and how you feel and emotions and all the baggage, you know, that goes into dieting and competitively, not just to lose weight, but, you know, where you're trying to manage performance
and aesthetics.
and aesthetic, yeah, you know, where you're really going for both. You're not just trying to get big and be strong, but you're actually trying to look good and change the way you look. I did not expect that. I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw your pictures, and I thought, oh, cool, she's gonna get me, because not a lot of
Well,
people.
thank you.
Not a
I
lot
do
of
have to
people get me.
make one little disclaimer to that though, right? So yes, I have done competitions before and I have the pictures and the trophies to show for it, but I have an ace in my back pocket, and that's my husband, right? So he's a personal trainer, and he's very knowledgeable and very good with the diet. And sometimes we go head to head about it because we don't necessarily see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, it's a different vantage point, and not everybody responds to the same exact thing, right? So if you don't respond to the way I look at things, well then I pull into it what my husband has been talking about, because boys and girls don't necessarily operate the same way, right?
Yeah.
And so I do have that ace in my back pocket that I have my experience, but then I also have almost 30 years of his personal training and dieting and competing as well. So
Wow.
as long I am the front of it, and at least at here, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. My husband is really knowledgeable about that stuff, so you've actually benefited from that as well.
Yeah.
You just didn't know it.
Very cool.
So this has been Who's Cracking with Dr. C and my friend Ricky, mountain bike extraordinaire, lean athlete. And until we meet again, be well adjusted.